Hola. Today is going to be a good one to really further explain because what this is all about is explaining the reasons and understanding of meditation and why we want to meditate and why we want to get better and greater control of our mind. Because it's not just about understanding this stuff for intellectual stimulation. It can be fun to study and it's good to understand kind of the basis of what's really going on here. But the greater thing is to really make us understand why we're meditating and how we can kind of better get in control of this. Because remember, it is just like that elephant on the winding path. We want to be in control of the mind. We don't want the mind to control us. And if we can better understand how everything works, then we can get a better understanding of where we are on that path and how to get rid of that monkey and allow us to be the great companion of this powerful elephant, this powerful source, this power, right? So, what I want to talk on today, and it is going to really kind of piece together a little more of what was talked about in the past, but kind of really paint a better picture and go in more depth of it. And it is that of the idea that everything in the physical world has a non physical correspondence. There is a non physical vibrational counterpart to everything. And we've mentioned before as well that a person can't hide anything on the outside because they're revealing their insides by their outsides. And so just if we kind of look at these, we remember that like this is one, like this is still all of you. It is not that you are just a body, just emotions, or any of that. This is still all of you. And this is how we tend to think about ourselves, that being the most obvious. But remember that this is the source of the power. This is where it all comes down from and flows down to and through. And so if we take that idea, that notion that everything has a non-physical counterpart, then naturally, and kind of in combination with the law of cause and effect, that every cause has an effect, every effect has a cause. And so if we want to, and again, talking about polarity, opposite ends to everything. So if we take this and this idea of, all right, so again, let's run through it real quick though. Conscious mind, and we can also have this one, conscious mind being almost the barrier, the force field, the the protection, because thoughts are always coming in, and if it is not up to our conscious mind, if we do not use our conscious mind properly, it's just getting embedded into our subconscious mind. And so we have the ability to accept or reject anything with our conscious minds and decide what gets into our subconscious mind, which does not reject anything. It accepts everything. And the body is just subject to whatever the subconscious mind is at. And we can see this the same way. We have the five sensory inputs, but we also have the ability to create and imagine, and we can impress the subconscious mind, which then controls the body. So we want to talk about the what this kind of this idea of correspondence and this idea that there's levels of existence. So if we have the plus and minus, we can go one of two ways, right? So think about how this plays out in your physical body. When you have positive thoughts, you have positive emotions, which causes your body to do things, right? You have these thoughts, which then funnels down into your body, and you cause your body. So, and we can see this with excitement. And you start to get excited, you have positive thoughts, and you have the emotion. And remember, the emotion and the physiological response are different. So you may have an exciting thought, an exciting idea, and it lights up emotionally. And then what happens to the body? It might cause you to smile. It might cause you to just to stand up. You kind of just feel your body kind of have a little bit more energy, because that energy is coming from somewhere. And so there is a physiological response to that. And so we can do on the flip side. Let's say you're walking through the woods and you hear something kind of ruffling in the trees and the bushes, and you have a thought of a bear. I guess it's a big bush if you can't see the bear at this point, but and you have a thought of a bear, and then so then you have the thought of I might get attacked, and so then that evokes the emotion of fear, and then so what happens? Your muscles might clamp up, you might get tense, your heart rate might go up, your face is frozen, right? Fear has a physiological response as well. So we can see this within ourselves. So our body, our physical, our vessel, our life, us, is a great representation of everything because we are all of this, and everything is all of this, right? We are all of this. And so why that's important is because then we can start to identify this, and which is what is really, and especially kind of parallel with the idea of meditation, is we want to start to pay attention to what is behind the physical response, what is behind the emotional response, what is even behind the thoughts, because thoughts come from somewhere. So if we can start to recognize that everything has kind of a two-way street going on, then we can start to pay attention. And this is a good practice, and to kind of lay a foundation of, or kind of give an idea and understanding of the notion of non-attachment. Because if we can see what is, this is old news, because this came from somewhere. This room is the result of past thinking. This sweatshirt is somebody thought this. And so where I'm going with this is that your circumstances are the result of your past thinking. Every interaction that you have is a result of the thoughts that allowed that interaction, is allowed for the state of mind. Because if you have a conversation with someone and you're frustrated, it's going to be a completely different interaction than if you have the conversation with the same person and you're happy. It's not the person, it is us. We are always the root of all of our experiences. So what I want to touch on a little bit even deeper, and perhaps to shine a greater light on this, is if the better we can get with meditation, and we cannot let the monkey determine where we go, but we are the elephant, and we are working with the elephant. We are not the elephant, we're the monk, and the elephant's our friend. And it becomes our powerful friend and a great companion, then we can navigate through our own mind. And so if we look at this and think about there's a physiological response. So when we think good and we feel good, the body works better. And so what is the reverse? When we are thinking negative and we have negative emotional response, what happens to the body? Well, we've been told that stress can give you stomach ulcers. Stress can cause muscle tension. So I'm going to plant this seed. We're not going to get too deep into it now, but the idea that if you can identify within your body the mental cause, then our body can be an indicator of traumas we need to face, of fears we need to face, of inadequacies, just false beliefs. Because what if, just going to throw this out, what if you can work out your mental states based on physical, what is the word I'm looking for? Kind of like heads ups, like alerts. It's almost like the idea that if your car has like the check engine light on, and you just put some electrical tape over the light just to hide that, like, I don't want to look at that, and pretend that it's going to solve it. No, got to get to the root. What is the root of this? And so the same thing with us. Like we might say happenstance, coincidence, but as we know, there are no coincidences. There can't be coincidences. Coincidences are simply what we call coincidences. That's a weird word to say fast. What we call happenstance is simply a lack of understanding of the cause of the effect. And so when we have an ache in our body, there is a root cause. When we have a headache, there is a root cause. We can blame it. We can try to blame it on something external, but as we know, we are the whole. We are it. And as we know as well, that we are the cause of all that we receive. So everything that we are vibrating at, we are, wherever we are on the scale. I'm getting a lot of pages now. I'm getting kind of lost in them. Wherever we are, we will experience. So as something happens, it is a reason. So this idea, this understanding, to let us kind of not look at what is, but look at what's back of it. And we can practice this with all things, and we can practice this with our interactions with other people. We can practice this even just stepping into a place. And you can always see too where a person's state of mind was, especially in art. So think about paintings, think about music, think about poetry. When you read poetry, you can see where the person's mind was. You can kind of tell what type of person, what type of thinking took place. Same with a picture. You can see where a person's state of mind was when they painted that picture. Everything reveals itself. That is on the inside reveals itself on the outside. So, all right, let me make sure. I feel like I touched on that, but the exercise is for that. So the exercise is to practice what is back of it, and then to see it not only in our own lives, but in the lives of others. What is back of the result, the physical results, because this is old news. The physical results, again, had to come from a vibrational standpoint, and we'll just have to accept right now that the vibrational standpoint is affected by mind, because it is. We know this, and we can see this, and there are a number of studies that show this, that our mind can affect the quality of water. Our mind can affect the makeup of plants, the health of a plant. If you think loving and positive thoughts to a plant, it will grow better. Same thing, they've done this with metals. If you can speak loving to metals, they'll last longer than if you speak hateful. They found that the speaking hateful and like downward, lowly vibrational ideas to metals even cause them to rust faster. They've done this with food. It causes it to mold faster if you talk bad to it. So literally, find a way to love everything. Send your love out. That is why we want to radiate love. That is why we want to get up here, because it's not just for our own physical being, but we do get the benefit from it. But when we be the light and we shine the light, we are eliminating darkness. So we are literally becoming a vessel and a source of positive energy for other people, because we are radiating that. So why not be the light? Why not shine bright? Why not be the one that helps another lift another up? And then that's a compound effect, because then they're lifted and they're lifting another. So it doesn't take, if you think about it, we can have a compound effect around the world. Let's aim for that. I'm up for that. You up for that? Sounds like a good idea. All right, so that, and again, just to tie this in, why the basis of meditation is so we can become aware of that. So we can recognize what is for a reason. So what is this reason? What is back of what is? Because we simply see with often we use the 5 sensory input, but there's another vision we want to develop, right? We want to get in the vision. So the inner sights is what we want to develop, and meditation will help us do that, because when we can not let the monkey tell us what to look at, we can not let the monkey tell us how to think, then we can see truth. We can see more clearly. We can see to the heart of things, which is what we want to ultimately do. So we can have that clarity. We can have that peace of mind. We can have that ease in our life, because if it was up to us, we wouldn't let the monkey, and I guess we are letting the monkey, we wouldn't let the monkey lead us to distress, but we do. So why not practice the way to allow the monkey to be gone, and we can hop on this elephant and say, let's go see something beautiful. Because when we really pay attention, there's beauty all around us, and we just have to remember that, and we have to clear our mind to allow ourselves to see that. Hope this hit well. Hope this is just right. Hope this is still what you need. Talk to you soon.